Coronavirus numbers spike again in our state. There are more than 6,100 coronavirus cases here in Maryland, with at least 138 deaths. Among the new patients, an employee at the Amazon Distribution Center in Hanover. There's also been another death at Pleasant View Nursing Home in Mount Airy. 18 people there have now died. It was also another record-breaking week for unemployment claims. WJZ is live. Amy Kawada is breaking down the numbers. Amy.
Good morning, Maxwell. In Baltimore City alone, more than 10,000 people have filed for unemployment in just the past week. And when we're talking about the latest in cases, for the first time, Maryland released a racial breakdown of coronavirus cases here in the state. African Americans have been hit the hardest, with more than 2,000 cases and 55 deaths. Prince George's County executive addressed the disparity seen across the country.
Unfortunately, we were not surprised to hear, because it is not just a data point that black and brown and disempowerished and poor people suffer disproportionately with health crises. It is a reality.
In Baltimore City, the police department announced a growing number of cases within its ranks. 16 officers have tested positive, along with 3 civilian employees. 63 people are in quarantine.
We are prepared to reallocate resources, human resources, and move officers around to make sure the entire city is always covered.
The highest concentrations of cases in the city is in zip code 21215 near Pimlico, where a testing site will open today by appointment only.
We will certainly take lessons learned from that site and apply them to other sites as we look across the city of where it makes sense to place sites that will be equitable and accessible by all of our residents.
The latest numbers reveal more than 108,000 Marylanders filed for unemployment in just 1 week. The state has already surpassed the total number of claims for last year.
Economists believe that although these numbers are staggering and mind-blowing, we are likely to see them continue for a few more weeks, and then they should start to taper off.
And Baltimore County's executive announced a hiring freeze for all non-essential personnel. That does not include police officers and firefighters. He joins Howard County and Baltimore City that have already enacted these measures. And happening later today at 1:30, we're expected to hear from Governor Larry Hogan on the latest for coronavirus updates. Reporting live in downtown Baltimore this morning, I'm Amy Kawada for WJZ.
Amy, thank you. While the number of coronavirus cases and deaths rise, so does the number of people who've been infected and gone on to make a full recovery. More than 24,000 have recovered in the United States. 376 have been released from isolation here in Maryland. The coronavirus has forced schools to teach online. In order to get those lessons, kids need technology. That's why parents of Baltimore City students are asking businesses to donate gently used devices. Kelsey Kushner tells us what parents have to say.
Schools across Maryland remain closed, but the education continues online. Baltimore City and County schools started their online courses on Monday. This as schools in Virginia and Pennsylvania announced closures for the rest of the academic year. The state superintendent of schools says they're ramping up online and distance learning capabilities.
We want our kids to be engaged, and we want our parents to know that we're doing our very best to respond to learning needs, and we don't want those huge learning losses.
No decision has been made yet about whether to reopen Maryland schools, which remain closed until April 24th. In Baltimore City, students have been connecting with teachers and classmates online, asking questions and finding new ways to further their education. Kenyatta Ross Dyer says it's something her 5-year-old now looks forward to every day.
She just kept thanking me, like, thank you, Mommy. I got a chance to see, she misses her teachers and misses her friends.
While city school officials say there's at least 5,000 students who have the proper technology and access to high-speed internet, there's about 25,000 who don't. Thursday, parents of Baltimore City students and the Teachers Democracy Project pushed for donations for gently used electronics like smartphones, iPads, or laptops to give to students to continue learning.
So if you were to go online right now and try to order a laptop or a Chromebook, it could take up to 8 weeks for it to come.
Parents say they're worried some kids could fall behind.
This pandemic, of course, was not planned, but that should not be a crutch for our kids not to succeed and to continue to fall behind.
And if you have gently used devices that you are willing to donate, they are accepting those donations at Impact Hub on Saturday between 1 and 3 p.m. Reporting in Baltimore City, Kelsey Kushner for WJZ.
There are 57 cases of the coronavirus in the state's prison system. That's a jump of 40 cases from Friday. The total number includes 10 inmates, 22 correctional officers, and 19 contractual staff, among others. The Jessup Correctional Institution has the highest number of cases for any facility. New York State set a grim new record for coronavirus deaths with 799 reported yesterday. More than 16,000 deaths across the country and more than 460,000 confirmed cases. Now, President Trump is forming a second coronavirus task force focused on reopening the economy. The decision isn't up to the administration. Governors will actually make that call, and some are already rejecting the time frame.
Until we have a vaccine, which is months and months away, I would not risk having large groups of people getting together anywhere.
I do worry that if we rush back to work, as some of the rhetoric has implied, you could have a second and third wave of this pandemic.
More than 16 million Americans now jobless. Many people are waiting for federal stimulus payments. Some will likely see the payments hit their accounts through direct deposit early next week, with the first round of checks starting the week of April 13th. Many counties are looking at ways to keep their residents fed. Sean Stryker has more from the Maryland Food Bank on what's being done locally and how you can help.
It's a sign of the times at the Maryland Food Bank, as makeshift teams of volunteers sort donations.
We have seen a doubling of demand for the food that we distribute over the last 3 weeks.
On top of that, food donations are down nearly 90%, forcing them to purchase food in attempts to keep up with demand. Meg Kimmel with the food bank says they'll need $12 million to make it through the next 90 days.
So we have already dipped into our organizational reserves. We're obviously fundraising to as much as we possibly can, but we're going to need everybody to join with us in this battle if we're really going to be able to be a resource to the state.
Meantime, Baltimore County, one of the hardest hit counties in Maryland in terms of unemployment, is also looking to be a resource for its residents.
So many in our communities have lost jobs and find themselves suddenly facing food insecurity and other challenges.
Starting Friday, County Executive Johnny Olszewski says the Maryland National Guard will help lead food distribution operations, allowing them to increase their reach.
This Saturday, we're purchasing over 23,000 prepackaged meals and will distribute them at 30 different sites across the county.
That's 3 times more sites than last week and are in addition to the midweek meal distributions.
These are our latest steps, but they will not be our last.
Sean Stryker for WJZ.
The business of booze is booming. Sales in stores and online are up. Restaurants are hoping to cash in too. The pandemic has led to Americans buying more liquor. Nielsen says U.S. alcohol sales were up 22% during the last week of March compared to the same time last year. Many restaurants are now selling popular pre-mixed items and delivering them.
Like to get that nice big burger and enjoy it at home with their beer.
The way we are creating the cocktails is it's bottled and sealed, and it's designed to be shaken and poured over ice.
Ready-to-drink cocktails have had the greatest sales growth compared to this time last year, up more than 100%. And of course, stay with us as we follow the new developments during this challenging time, both on air and online. We have everything you need at WJZ.com.